Hi everybody and welcome. My name is Cameron McCollum. I am the director of the Sudreau Global Justice Institute here at Pepperdine Caruso School of Law. And let me just first say welcome. We are so glad that you have chosen to make Pepperdine your home for the next 3 years. And it is our honor to journey with you on your process to becoming a lawyer. I hope you are so excited that you're in law school and that you are on the way to becoming a lawyer. It is an amazing profession that gives you the ability and the skill set to help a lot of hurting people, just like a doctor does. Just like a doctor does when somebody has something wrong with them, they have the skill set to fix them. So too do lawyers. And I don't think you need me to tell you that there are a lot of hurting people around the world. You only have to turn on the news for 5 seconds to see that injustice is just running rampant around the world right now. And lawyers have a part to play. Lawyers can be part of the solution. You can be part of the solution. As Martin Luther King Jr. said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And you guys will learn over the next 3 years as you take your classes that there is so many different types of injustice happening right now. I don't know if you've seen the studies, but some reports say that there are over 40 million slaves in the world today. That is more slaves than ever before in human history, which is just unbelievably shocking and tragic. But that's not the only type of injustice. I think it is an injustice that millions of girls around the world are denied the right to an education simply because they're girls. That is wrong. I also think it is an injustice that millions of people will die every year because of a lack of access to clean drinking water or enough food or life-saving antibiotics. The list goes on and on. And you might be thinking, I understand how lawyers kind of play a part in the fighting of human trafficking or slavery because lawyers prosecute bad people, and that's true. But you might be thinking, I don't get how lawyers play a role in alleviating the other types of injustice, whether it's access to clean drinking water or schools. Well, this is sort of where we come in as an organization. And I don't know if you've ever read a book called Locust Effect by Gary Haugen. He's the founder of IJM, International Justice Mission, one of the largest anti-slavery organizations in the world, and one of our biggest partners in what we do. But their theory, which we believe wholeheartedly, is that you can build schools, you can build clean drinking water wells, you can bring food, you can build hospitals. But if the place you're doing that doesn't have a solid, strong justice system, a foundation of justice, if violence and injustice is allowed to run rampant in that place, those efforts will not provide the intended benefit to the people they were intended to benefit, the people who are hurting and need the help the most. They will actually just be taken advantage of in the sort of culture of injustice. And so instead, if you can partner with countries to provide and to build a strong foundation of justice, meaning if you can implement good laws and make sure that those laws are enforced, you actually provide an atmosphere, an environment in which justice is allowed to thrive. So not only can you prevent injustice like human trafficking and slavery and other forms of violence like that, but you can also be a part of the solution to these bigger other sorts of injustices like hunger and access to clean drinking water and education. And so I hope that gets you excited, because that is the journey you're on, and that's what we do as an organization. And the best part about all of it is that you get to be a part of it. We bring you along in the journey. We bring you along with us to the countries we work in. You'll have an opportunity to come alongside of us and actually represent hurting people, or to do research for these governments that we're partnering with on these justice projects. And one of those projects right now is with the nation of Uganda, just to give you one example of some of the work we do. In many developing countries around the world, there is no such thing as, at least practically speaking, the right to an attorney. If you were arrested and put in prison, you could be in prison for 5, 6, 7 years before your trial comes up with nobody to represent you, which is just a horrible situation. And so right now in Uganda, we are partnering with their government and their judiciary, their Supreme Court, to actually implement a public defender system such that one day every single person who is arrested and accused of a crime in Uganda will have an attorney to fight for them. And so we go there several times a year and actually get to represent individuals in that situation, and you will have that same opportunity, which is just an absolutely life-changing experience. And so we want to show you a quick clip of a little bit more about that project, and then we'll jump back in.
We went to Masindi, which is a region in Uganda, and I asked a high court judge, is there a remand home nearby? And we went inside and found all these young men that had been inside this place with a plastic bucket, you know, in the back, and they let them out that door just a little bit of time each day. And I'm like, this is nuts. Like, there's no way this should be going on. And so I asked this high court judge, like, could we get involved?
In Uganda, people accused of a crime remain imprisoned until their court cases can be judged. They may spend several years just waiting for their day in court on what is called remand. Some of them are innocent.
My name is Tomsime Henry, and I was charged with murder twice. I was arrested not knowing why they were arresting me. They were saying, you are a murderer. I told my mom not to come and visit me anymore. I told her no more coming to visit me because I'm no longer really going to be released. This is our playground. These are goalposts.
A few months after Bob Goff's visit, he met Jim and told him about the kids on remand at Ahungu.
We are the ones.
Soon after, in January of 2010, Jim, along with a small team of lawyers, flew to Uganda. There, Jim met Henry for the first time. Jim and the other lawyers spent a week at Ahungu preparing cases for the 21 juvenile inmates for trial, including both murder cases against Henry.
Over the course of the weeks following our return to the United States, these cases started to move forward, and these kids got court dates, these kids got released. Most of them were released within several weeks of the time of us leaving.
When the case against Henry, Joseph, and their father went to court, all charges were dropped because there was no evidence against them.
When the trial came for the second murder charge, there was one lawyer representing both Rose and Henry. That lawyer decided that the case that the defense put on would defend Rose and blame Henry.
At the end of the trial, both Rose and Henry were convicted of murder.
The day after Henry was convicted, I got on a plane and flew back to Uganda. For the next 3 days, I sat with him and worked on a pre-sentence report. The judge reviewed the pre-sentence report and ultimately sentenced him to 1 year of probation and allowed him to go home. In March of 2013, I was given special permission by the Chief Justice of Uganda to actually represent Henry in court.
And we're going to be heading over to the court in a few minutes, but we're going to do one last practice round.
What we're looking for is a complete exoneration of him.
Can't see you. Yeah, push the camera button so I can see your face. So we got the ruling from the court. The court decided that the conviction was in violation of the Constitution, and therefore it has been quashed and nullified. It's over. You won.
Praise be to God.
Yeah.
I've been just waiting, praying.
Two things we've gotten used to doing since we met each other, huh?
It's much, much bigger than one person. It's much bigger than one case. This is a transformation that the Ugandans are engaging in that will live long after Henry, will live long after me. And there are others who are picking up the torch and walking ahead. And most of those people are Ugandans, and it's a privilege to walk with them.
So we talk every week on the phone.
Yeah.
We call each other. It used to be every Tuesday, and then it changed to Thursdays and different times. But every single week. And how do we end our calls before we hang up?
Yeah, we say I love you to each other, and we mean it.
Isn't that amazing? It's such an incredible story that gets me every time. And one of the most fun things is we're actually supposed to go to Uganda this fall to watch Henry graduate from medical school, which is so amazing. And we're so excited for him. But the tragic part is that Henry's story is actually not unique. There are so many more Henrys out there who are stuck in just really unjust situations and need an advocate. And you will have the opportunity to maybe be that person. And so we want to talk more about the opportunities that you're going to have during your 3 years here at Pepperdine to engage in our justice-related work. And so there's generally three ways. So we have our summer internships, we have our classes, we have our spring break trip, and then there's also a fourth postgraduate, our fellowships, which you'll hear a little bit more about in a second. But I want to spend some time talking about the first way, which is our internships. So the administration and the school generally likes for you to just focus on your studies your first year of law school. So your first opportunity to engage with us is actually next summer after you finish your finals and you're thinking about what do you want to do for your first legal internship. You can intern with us. You can be an institute, a Global Justice Institute intern, and you can choose from among many amazing placements. So you could choose to go and live in Uganda, in Ghana, in Rwanda, and clerk for their judiciary. You can clerk for the Supreme Court of that country, their brightest legal minds. You can clerk for their prosecutors if that's something you're interested in. You can clerk for their Court of Appeals. You can clerk anywhere in the judicial system, which is just an unbelievable and unparalleled sort of experience to actually get to go live in these countries and learn from their brightest minds. It's amazing. And during that time, while you're in country, we come over and we actually go into the prisons and we take you into the prisons with us and we represent individuals who have been accused of crimes and need an advocate. And I can't even begin to tell you the amount of times. Every trip we go, we come across people who just have been wrongfully arrested, who have been there for 5 years, and we get to see them, we get to advocate for them. We actually get to see them go home and walk out of there, which is just a life-changing experience. And so that's one of the first ways, and we hope you'll do that. You can also choose to be placed with one of our partner organizations like International Justice Mission, where you can go overseas with them and help them prosecute some human trafficking and other slavery-related cases, or any of our other partners, Willow International, and the list kind of goes on and on. But I actually want to show you a quick video of some of our students a couple summers ago as they're going into the prison. So what you're about to see is a short clip of our students who are actually living, or who were living at the time in Uganda for the summer, clerking for a judge. And this clip is just a short couple minutes about them as they're about to go into the prisons for the first time when we're there, as hopefully you'll get to do as well.
The categories of prisoners who are here are those who have committed very serious offenses. These offenses, among others, include acts of rape, acts of murder, acts of aggravated robberies, aggravated defilement, treason, terrorism, and other cases that follow that category.
We have no idea what any of these prisoners have done, and so we're just interviewing them blind, pretty much. We don't have their indictments or any of the trial records or anything. Hopefully we'll get that tonight.
Seems like they at least have informed the prisoners that someone would be coming to talk with them. And we just got broken up into our teams, waiting to still find out who our Ugandan advocate will be. Yeah, just between us, it's basically 2 gates right now, and the prison itself, where all the prisoners are. So there's really going to be no separation. It's just jumping in there and trying to see if we can help these prisoners.
American law students and American lawyers are paired with a Ugandan lawyer and a Ugandan law student before meeting the prisoners. Interviewing over 100 prisoners for the first time, they hope to move the cases forward toward resolution through a court trial or an agreement reached outside of court called a plea bargain. The law students explain to the prisoners that the team has come to give them a voice and provide them with an opportunity in smaller groups to finally tell their story to someone who will help them.
Was it his own knife that he used?
It's kind of a complicated case because he's being charged with murder of his 2-month-old daughter.
There's a murder of a wife, but it seems that there was a heat of passion involved.
This is aggravated defilement. The victim was his daughter, 16 years old.
I know that video can be a little bit intense, but the reality is that when we're in the prisons and when you come into the prisons with us, we're not, playing, we're not playing attorney. It's not a game. These are real cases with real people that you're going to get to represent, and you're often representing people and talking about the worst moment of these people's lives, often some of the biggest mistakes they ever made. And it is a privilege to come alongside them and advocate for them, because we believe that people are more than the worst thing they've ever done, and everyone deserves an advocate. And so it's an amazing experience that I hope you will get to partake in with us. And I also want to say, more than anything, we during the summer also have so much fun. There are so many things you get to do while you're living abroad in Uganda, Ghana, or Rwanda that are just lifetime experiences. So I want to show you a couple more clips of some fun that we have either in the prisons or outside the prisons, and then our assistant director Jenna DeWalt is going to come in and tell you some more about some of the other opportunities for you to engage with us in our classes and our events and our fellowships.
Hi everyone, as Cameron said, my name is Jenna and I'm excited to jump in here and talk a little bit more about some additional opportunities that we have for you guys. So if you don't have the chance to join over the summer, or you just want to participate in our program as much as you possibly can, we also have a 10-day spring break trip that we take every year. And if you're a 2L or 3L, we would love for you to join. We travel to Uganda for about 10 days and we do a prison project. So we spend about 5 days in 2 or 3 different prisons, and we set you guys up with in teams with American attorneys, Ugandan attorneys, Ugandan law students, and you operate as your own little law firm inside the prisons, working on cases, doing plea bargaining. And our goal is to further implement and train Ugandans on what plea bargaining is, how to use it really well, and make sure that we're getting all the kinks out, that it's not being abused in any way, and that it's being consistently implemented across the country. So the spring break trip is a life-changing experience. It's so fun. Our team always bonds so well, and we just have an absolute blast. So I hope you guys will consider the spring break trip. I also want to jump into a couple of different opportunities that we have on the ground, and the first thing I want to start with is our classes. We have an anti-trafficking legislation lab, which is a 1-year class, and you have the opportunity to draft legislation with other students here at Pepperdine. It's a really cool opportunity to engage with the state of California in implementing new laws that help prosecute traffickers and protect victims. We also have a new class this year entitled War Crimes, taught by Jacqueline Isaac, and she's actually working on some cases right now that are prosecuting ISIS for war crimes in the Middle East. So it's going to be a really engaging class, and we're super excited to be introducing that this fall. Lastly, we have a class taught by Gary Haugen, the founder and president of International Justice Mission. He has been teaching a class called Human Rights and the Rule of Law in the Developing World for about a decade now, and it is an amazing course. It's a week-long intensive course where you're spending several hours a day with him diving into human rights and the rule of law around the world. So highly encourage you to look into those classes if those are of interest to you. And lastly, I just want to mention our fellowships. We have a couple of different opportunities available after you graduate for you to live for a year in Uganda or Ghana, managing our different projects for us and relationships over there. It's a critical part of our team, and it's also a really amazing experience for you guys after you graduate. So that's all I have for you guys, but I'm going to pass it back over to Cameron to close us up for the day.
Thank you, Jenna, and thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to listen to our presentation about the Justice Institute. We are so excited you're here, and we really hope that during your next 3 years you choose to engage with us. And as you can see, there's a lot of ways to do that. We have our internships starting next summer after you finish your first year. We have classes, we have our spring break trip, and we have fellowships. So we would love to meet all of you over the next 3 years, whether it's in one of those capacities or all of them. And I just want to reiterate, you do not have to want to be a human rights attorney for the rest of your life to do this sort of work. Whether you want to be, whether that is what you want to do, or you want to be a corporate attorney or a sports lawyer or whatever, I don't think it matters. I think our goal is to train and equip a generation of global-minded attorneys and leaders and advocates who, no matter what they do, have this sort of a heart for justice and can be a force for good and for justice wherever they are in whatever industry they're in. And so we would love to meet you. So please reach out to us. In a couple of weeks, we'll be sending around a newsletter, an email that's going to have a sign up for our email list, our newsletter. And that is the best way to stay up to date with opportunities we have, because we'll be doing other things throughout the semester. We'll be having sort of monthly hangouts and different events, and that is the best place to get that up-to-date information. So look out for that email. Please sign up for our email list if you're interested in this sort of thing at all. And reach out to us directly. You can see both of our emails right here. Again, I'm Cameron. Our assistant director is Jenna. She's amazing, and we would both love to chat with you, to even take you to coffee and just get to know you and hear about your heart and what's on your heart, because really we're not just stuck to doing what we do. If you have ideas about other ways we can bring justice, we want to hear about them and we want to do them. And so can't wait to partner with you guys the next 3 years, and can't wait to meet you guys soon.